Hey, what's up, everybody? It's early in the morning here. As you can see, it's still dark out, and I just finished my workout. As you can see, I'm disgusting in this general area. I'm going to show you how I built today's food plans based off of counting my macros so that I can hit my daily macronutrient goals, hoping that maybe these videos will help you figure out how to build yours so you can hit your goals. Do me a favor though, as usual, if you find this video to be helpful, please hit the like button, maybe even the subscribe button while you're sitting here on the channel. Anyways, I do these videos every day and build different types of meals, simple meals, stuff that's just a matter of a few minutes of prepping because I'm lazy and I love simplicity and I don't have time all day to be prepping. So that's how I'm doing these videos. So today I'm very excited because I'm going to be putting on my dinner a tuna melt. Not a regular tuna melt. If I went to Subway and got a tuna melt, it would be lathered with mayo because I love mayo. This is not going to be lathered with mayo because that would blow out pretty much every fat category that I've got. So what it's going to be is essentially a very simple couple of pieces of Ezekiel bread. I'm going to put some tuna on it, but it's the tuna from the pouch, which is the buffalo, I think it's called like buffalo hot or something, but basically it's going to be like a spicy tuna melt. And then I'm going to put some low-fat Swiss cheese on there. So, not quite as tasty as a normal tuna melt, but I'm hoping tasty enough, and looking forward to it because it's something kind of different. Otherwise, a couple of other things on today's meals. I changed my protein to an isolate. So I usually do a cup and a half or a scoop and a half of whey protein. The isolate is slightly higher and concentrated as far as how much protein I'm getting. So that goes down to a scoop versus a scoop and a half. So that's a little bit different. I'm also doing some pork loin for lunch, which I had a little bit of yesterday, but it's essentially some nice sort of lean, low-fat pork loin. Doing a little bit of that. You'll see that on my lunch here. And otherwise, let me show you what today's meal ends up looking like. All right, let's party. So as usual, let's start at the top, of course, with my calories. If you've watched my previous videos, I want to build this in a way so that I am just barely over my total calorie allotment, at least by 1, but preferably less than 50. That's kind of like my perfect range because I'm trying to build a little bit of lean mass, and I'd rather be over on my calories than under. So as you can see here, right in the middle where I want to be, so that's perfect. And in fact, the specific macros at the top, I always want to be pretty high on my protein, and if I can help it, I want to try to be under just a little bit of my fat. So this really lined up nicely today as far as sort of my targets. Now when I'm building this, of course, the first couple of things I do before I start adding my meals is I add in my pre-workout and my post-workout. You'll see here at the bottom, I already added these, and I have a couple of primary goals with these. First is on my pre-workout, I want to end up with somewhere between 30 and 40 grams of protein. And then on my carbs, I want somewhere between about 30 and 50 grams of carbs. And you can see here, I hit within that range on each one of these. For my post-workout, what I want is about 30 to 40 grams of protein there, but I want to jump my carbs up pretty significantly, somewhere between preferably 90 and 100 grams. You can see here 95, so spot on there. I'm basing these numbers based off of the Bigger, Leaner, Stronger book. If you go to Google and type in pre and post workout, Bigger, Leaner, Stronger, it'll give you sort of the mathematical formula to determine how much protein and carbs you should take pre and post workout. So those are where my numbers are at. I put those in before I do any meals so that way it starts subtracting my overall macros as far as what I still need, and then I start building everything else. So let's start with breakfast, and today going with something very, very basic, just a cup and a half of liquid egg whites. And the reason I'm doing this is I found that over the last couple of days I've been really hungry throughout the day and wanting to sort of snack and graze. So what I decided to do here was lower my breakfast to just a cup and a half of eggs, which is still quite a bit of egg whites, and just do some onion powder, some other things to kind of flavor it up, and just go very basic, hoping that allows me more throughout the rest of the day to fulfill my targets. So let's go with my lunch next. There's that pork I was talking about 160 grams. That's going to end up being somewhere around 6 ounces of that lean pork. I did the Uncle Ben's pouch of rice, nice carb boost there. Doing some Brussels sprouts still, which I enjoy from time to time. This is going to be about 4 ounces, that 98 grams, somewhere around there. And it's not a lot as far as calories go. You can see really it's only 3.5 protein and almost 9.5 carbs, but no fat, which is nice. Guacamole, I'm going to put a little bit of guacamole on that as well, a little bit of fat. And so one of the things you're going to probably notice here is, my breakfast had 0 fat, all right? And my lunch only had 20 total fat. And so, as you start to build this, you can see why I ended up not going over on my fat, because my first 2 meals of the day had very little fat in them. So there was a good chance I was probably going to be under is what I wanted to, or what I was supposed to actually hit, because my first 2 meals were so lean. So you can kind of start feeling out how the end picture is going to look sometimes by paying attention to what your macros are as you're building these. Let's go to my dinner. So this is the tuna melt I was talking about before. We're going to have 2 pieces of Ezekiel toast. These are actually going to go on a sandwich maker, so I guess technically it's going to toast in the sandwich maker. So it's 2 pieces of Ezekiel bread. Going to do 1 pouch of the tuna, the hot buffalo style. Going to do just a little bit over the normal serving of the low-fat mozzarella cheese. Going to put some sauerkraut on the side here. Been doing that a little bit recently. And also about 5 ounces of the vegan sausage. So a very, very hearty meal, but not crazy. I mean, you look again at the total fat here, only 18.2 grams of fat, 61 grams of protein, 55 grams of carbs, almost equal there. So a lot of food here with very, very minimal amount of impact, which is nice to be able to be full and not go crazy on your total calories. For snacks, and this is what's interesting now here too, is because my first 3 meals were very, very low on sort of calories, it's leaving me a lot of opportunity to graze and do some other things throughout the day and still hit my targets. So let's look at my snacks throughout the day that I've got planned. You can see here my frozen fruit bars, a staple in my meals, just nice 15 grams of carbs. I'm going to do a cheese stick, which nice little bit of fat kind of adding up there. And then I'm actually going to do, these last 3 are a bowl of cereal. So I'm going to have just a snack probably late at night before I go to bed at some point. So it's going to be the pretty much the standard amount that I have, 2 cups of milk, 4 ounces of the cereal, the Raisin Nut brand, which is my jam. And then I like adding in an additional half a cup of raisins. You can see that half cup of raisins is 62 total grams of carbs. In fact, if you look at the snacks throughout the day, my total snacks are 1,326 total calories, which may be just about as much as all the other meals combined here. So a lot of snacks throughout the day, but that was my goal when I built this. And the great thing is, even with all of those snacks, I built my meals in such a way that it's not going to blow out all my numbers. In fact, it's going to put me right where I want to be. So very excited about this day. It couldn't have went better. Let me know if you got any questions about how you are building yours or how I built mine. Glad to help however I can. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and we'll see you all tomorrow.